Let's talk about how to add assignments and announcements and other things to your classroom stream. Down in the right corner, there's a plus symbol. When I click that, I've got 4 options: create announcement, create assignment, create question, and reuse post. We'll go through these one at a time. First, I will create an announcement. An announcement is anything that you want to post that doesn't come with a due date, and it doesn't require the students to turn anything in. So it doesn't have to just be technically an announcement. It could be just something you want them to see or look at, but you don't want to deal with assigning a grade or having them turn something in with it, okay? So I can share an announcement. And if I want to, I can attach a link or a file or a Google Drive document or a YouTube video. I can choose which class to assign it to. If I want to post it right now, I click Post. If I want to wait, I can click Save Draft, and it will show up as a draft. I'm going to try that one just so you can see what it looks like. Save Draft. And it'll show up as just a box that the students don't see at the top. When I'm ready to actually post it, I can click the drop-down button, choose it, and then click Post. Students will see the post in their streams immediately. So just lets you know that that's going to happen. And now it's on the stream. Students can comment. I can add a comment and things like that. You can control student access here under the Students tab. There is a drop-down menu here. Students can post and comment. Students can only comment, or only the teacher can post and comment. So, decide how you want to run your classroom. If you don't want the students putting things up on the stream, then only the teacher can post or comment would be the option you'd want to use. So that's an announcement. Once the announcement is posted, I have a menu I can choose. I can bump this to the top of my stream if it's not already there. I can go back in and edit it and make changes, or I can delete it. Let's add an assignment. I'll click the plus button and click Create Assignment. Now, the main difference between announcements and assignments is that assignments have a due date, and they'll provide the student with the ability to turn it in. And Google Classroom will keep track of who's turned it in and who hasn't. So we'll add a title to this assignment. I'll add an optional description here. And I'll set my due date for today. If you want to, you can choose a specific time of day you want it to be due. I'm just going to leave that off and click Save. And then I have the ability to attach, again, a file from the computer, a document from Google Drive, a YouTube video, or any link to anything on the web there. So I want to attach a Google Drive document. I'm going to choose the writing prompt assignment and click Add. Now, when I attach a document, I have the ability to set permissions for that document. So there's 3 choices. Students can view the file, which means they can't make any changes to it. Students can edit the file, which means that they can make changes to it. Or I can make a copy for each student. So each student will get their own copy of the assignment, and if they make changes to it, nobody else sees that. It's just the student. So that's similar to what you would do by giving each student in your class a handout. For this one, I'm going to choose that option, make a copy for each student, and then I will assign it to my class. Okay, now when I add an assignment, students will see the due date, and so can I, October 10th. It's in red because that's today, and so that is, it's urgent. If it gets within a close period of time, it'll turn red and let them know. If it's past the due date, it'll say late or past due up here, and then they'll know that as well. It tells me how many students have turned in the assignment, and right now none of my students have done it, and 2 of them are sitting here waiting to do it. And this will update as they turn it in. So you might be sitting there in class, and as they turn things in, you'll see the numbers shift over to the done category. So again, with the menu up here, I can move this assignment to the top of the stream if it's not already there. I can edit and make changes to the instructions, or I can delete it entirely. If I click on this as a teacher, if I click on the instructions here, it'll take me to the details about who is finished and who hasn't. And so I can see that right now 2 are not done. These are the 2 students who are not done. Neither of them has attached anything to the assignment or marked done on the list. Over here, there's a list version which will show up in alphabetical order. Neither student is done, obviously. Here, I can change the point total. So if I want this to be a 10-point assignment, I type in 10 and hit enter. And it warns me that I'm about to update the point value, and students who have already turned it in will be notified of that. But that's okay, that's normal. Nobody has done the assignment yet, so I'm just going to update that. So this is a 10-point assignment now. After the students have turned it in, you can go through here and grade it, and I'll go over that a little bit later. Okay, I'm going to add another assignment, and this time I'm going to use different permissions for it. So let's create another assignment. We'll call this Group Project Instructions. And I'm going to leave off the description. There's going to be a link here that they can follow, and they won't need that. So this time I'm going to attach another Google Drive document. And this time I'm going to select the project instructions and click Add. Now on this one, for the permissions, I'm going to leave it as students can view the file. They don't need to type anything on this one, and they don't need to make any changes to it or turn it in. It just needs to be the instructions for them. So I'm going to leave that as students can view file. I'll set the due date for today, and I'll click Save. And then I'll go ahead and assign that as well. Okay, I'm going to add a third assignment, and this one I'm going to give the students editing privileges on. So we'll click plus, we'll go to Create Assignment. We'll call this one Presidential Choices. Whole class. I'm going to add in some instructions here in the description. Okay. And so I'm going to attach another document, and this will be a spreadsheet that I've set up ahead of time in Google Sheets. And what I'm going to do here is make it so that all students can edit the file. So anybody in the class can go in and make changes to this document, and everybody else can see those changes. The way this assignment will work is each group is going to fill in information on the spreadsheet so that all the other groups can see what information they're using for their group project. Just an example of how that could be used in class. And so I'll set the due date for today again. Click Save, and I'll assign this to the class. Okay, so far in my classroom stream, I have an announcement, and I've added 3 assignments, each with different permission settings. And now I'm going to add a question. Okay, so we've got announcement, assignment, question. Questions work similarly to assignments. The difference is that students will be expected to simply write a response right inside of Classroom. They don't need to jump out to another document or anything like that. And Classroom will keep track of who's answered the question and things like that. So I'm going to set this up, and then we'll see how this goes. I'm not going to attach any files here. You can, but I don't need to. I just want them to answer that question. And when I click the Ask button, I get some options. Now I can allow the students to see and reply to each other's answers if I want sort of a collaborative environment where somebody might pick JFK and then someone else could say, oh, I disagree. I think he wasn't good in this area. So that's an option. Also, I can allow students to go back in and make changes to their answer after they've already posted their answer. So there might be reasons why you want to uncheck these. I'm going to leave them both checked for the example, and I'll click Ask. Okay, and so the question has been asked, and that's just about everything I need to show you in terms of what you put in your stream. So anything that you would normally do with a handout in class can be done here. Students can just use it digitally through their computer and Google Drive. The last item on the plus list is reuse post, and this works if you have other classrooms that you've used. or if you have posts that you've used in this class that were from a while back and you want to reuse them. So I'll click that, and what I get a choice of is all of the classrooms that I've set up. So I did set up another class here for an example, so I'll click on that one, and I have one assignment in there, and so I can grab this and I can reuse it in this class. So if you have assignments that work for multiple different classes, you can reuse those without having to retype up all the details. If there's any attachments to your previous assignments, you have the option to create new copies of those attachments in your drive so that they kind of stay organized and not separated. But that does duplicate things, so if you don't need to do that. And so I just attached a link to a video. I don't need to do that in this case. So I'm going to click reuse, and that'll show up on the stream. I get a chance to edit any of the instructions here. I'll set the due date for today. Click save. And I don't have any permissions to set because it's just a video they need to watch. So I'll click assign. And there it is. Okay. So to summarize, I added one announcement. I added a writing prompt where the attached Google document, each student will get their own copy. So they'll work on that and then turn it in. Next, I had a group project instruction where each group would get to view this instruction sheet but not make any changes to it. And then third, I have an Excel spreadsheet that every student can edit. So they'll all get to enter data into this sheet here. Next, I had a question. And so the students will have to go and answer that question, and then it'll register that they finished that. Finally, I reused a post from another class, which is a video clip that they have to watch. So those are the different type of posts you can make in your Google Classroom.